today on American Game Day? It's Championship November! And we got the SEC playoff that I'm making up! And I'll explain it all on American Game Day here, right now! Welcome to American Game Day. Today is Saturday, October 5th. It is November now. College football is almost under wraps, but it's the best month of all of football. It's Championship November, which means you win out or you're out. And that's what's coming down today. Our game of the week is Tennessee and Georgia. Also, there are some other big games like Alabama and LSU. Yeah, it's the SEC playoff. I'll explain more about that later. But I got a big show for you, and I got a special video later in the show for you. So this is going to be a big episode, and I can't wait to get this started. So let's kick it off with some playoff predictor. Yep, my top six still the same. Although I was really close to putting Tennessee at 1, but I just want to wait and see how they do against Georgia today. And of course, I still at 4. I've got Michigan, Clemson at 6, and 5 is Oregon. I still have high hopes for Oregon right now, a lot more than what the media think. Tennessee's got the number 1 spot. I don't really believe, I can see that, but again, just wait and see that they have Georgia. Ohio State at 2. Georgia's down at 3. That's the most shocking to me in their rankings. Clemson at 4. Michigan at 5. Alabama at 6. Another surprise is Clemson is ahead of Michigan. Wow, there are some big shockers in their rankings. And as they get closer to the end of the year, I'm going to do my full playoff predictor on the full rankings on this show. Anyway, jump into some headlines for you. Couple headlines. Yeah, Michigan State traveled to Michigan last week, and apparently, once again, second week in a row, there was a fight in the tunnel. Happened to Penn State 2 weeks ago. Now in the Michigan State. This time it's more serious. It wasn't just a peanut butter jelly sandwich flying across at a player. No, it was a big fight. 4 players were suspended the next day, and then earlier this week, 4 more players. So 8 total players got suspended, and most of them are starters, so Michigan State's going to have to suffer. And also, I got some big news for the Big 12. Yep, there's a new 6-year TV They extended their media deal, with ESPN and Fox, the Big 12 did, for $2.28 billion. That's $31 million per school a year through the 6 years. With Oklahoma and Texas is included until they leave in the 4 new schools that they're adding. And I'll talk more about Gonzaga here in a little bit. But anyway, Auburn fired their head coach. Yep, he's out of there. Let's see if some changes are heading their way. And let's see, how many coaches has Auburn gone through the last couple of years? A lot. Anyway, also, I'm making this up right now. I'm surprised no one's really talked about it, but I kind of created it. Alright, we got the SEC playoffs this Saturday. Yep, today. 2:30 on CBS and then 6 o'clock on ESPN. Yep, it's going to be a really big show. Tennessee versus number 1, Georgia at number 3, Alabama 6 versus LSU 10. Yeah, this is a top 10 SEC playoffs. Yeah, this is really a good look playoff. And now my question for you is, should conferences, actually do playoffs or like their own tournament thing? I mean, every sport except for football, every conference does a tournament. College basketball is the one that's most famous for it. And it works very well, and there's surprising thing. My question is, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to include every team. No, that's what the whole regular season is for. But I mean, we got the playoffs right now, the 4 teams. It works very well. I mean, obviously there hasn't really been a upset in a while, or especially a 14, but it has happened in the past. I'm pretty interested to see if, probably not right away, but I think once the playoffs go to 12 teams, I think it opens the door for, okay, now we need a chance for a true, if you win your conference championship, you get an automatic bid in the Power 5 and some good Group of 5 conferences. And I think if you win your 4 conference playoffs, you get an automatic bid to the 12-team playoff. I think that's how it works. And I'm gonna explain this more on a Hot Seat on Monday about this SC playoffs. But see what I'm getting here. I'm probably going to talk about it more on Slay Report podcast, because this is really just an idea that I came up with just a couple days ago. And I had made this graphic really quickly, too. Alright, it's now time for the game of the week. I've probably been talking about this all week long, and I'm only 6 minutes into the show, and I think I mentioned it every minute of this show. How many times? You can probably put, I'm going to edit this and put a counter on it every time I talk about this game or the SEC playoff, because that's how big this game is. It's Tennessee. They're number 1 right now. Georgia, they're number 3. 1 versus 3, 2:30 on CBS today, this afternoon. A really fun game. Georgia got the best defense in the country. Tennessee's got the best offense in the country. No one's been able to find a weakness for Tennessee's offense. And teams have figured out a way to go by Georgia's defense. They're a little weaker than they were last year, but still strong enough. The question is, Georgia's offense does look a little better than last year, but it's barely hanging in for them. But the question is, which team's going to figure out the other team's weakness, and which one's going to take the other one down? Will we have an upset? Well, no matter what, I think it's an upset. Georgia, 11-point favored. Yeah, Tennessee's the higher-ranked team, and they're the underdog in this game. They are on the road, though. It's going to be a true road game for them. Anyway, some other big SEC games. Florida, A&M, 11 o'clock, ESPN. This is going to be a really big test for A&M, because Florida really is a roller coaster under their first-year head coach. So, and I think Florida may not, if Florida plays the way they did against Utah, their first game of the year, or I don't even remember the first game of the year, but that was the beginning of the season, week 2. If they play like that, they have a good chance to give A&M their 5th straight loss in a row. All right, and then another big SEC battle. 6 o'clock, ESPN, the other side, the weaker side of the SEC playoff. Good. Oh, yeah, I think I forgot the main part about mentioning the playoffs is the winner of Tennessee, Georgia, likely in the SEC championship. The winner of Alabama and LSU, likely in the SEC championship. I'm not confirming the winner of those games are in it, but it's very likely since they are at the top of their divisions. Some other big game to notice in the SEC, Kentucky and Missouri. Missouri has pulled off some crazy upsets this year, and Kentucky has really fallen apart since their loss to Ole Miss. They really haven't bounced back from that loss. Another big game, Arkansas, look out. You're playing a 7-1. I'm trying not to mispronounce your name. I don't know why. Liberty. I don't know why I almost mispronounced it. But 3 o'clock, SEC Network. All right, the ACC we go. This is a huge road game for Clemson. A huge home game for Notre Dame. They may not be ranked. They may not look impressive to start the season off. Marcus Freeman has really turned things around at the second half of their season, and they look really good. This is going to be a true test to see. Notre Dame may not be able to win this game, but will they give Clemson problems? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if they can figure it out, because Wake Forest, NC State, Syracuse has given Clemson problems this year, but Clemson has found a way to win. Can Notre Dame continue it? Also, speaking of Wake Forest, NC State, they're playing each other tonight, 7 o'clock on the ACC network. I had high hopes for Wake Forest. I really thought they were going to win the ACC. They almost knocked down, they were the closest team to knock down Clemson this year, and I think they have a good chance of winning this game. They're on the road, though. Sam Hartman really didn't have his best game last week, and I think we're going to find out, can he bounce back from his terrible game last week? That's the question I have for him. But this is going to be a really fun back-and-forth game, and I cannot wait to see this one. Alright, some other big games in the ACC. Syracuse. Pitt. Pitt was kind of having a disappointing year. I think these four teams are also, except for Syracuse, I mean, all these four teams are kind of having a disappointing year. Syracuse didn't have high hopes for the year, but since they lost to Clemson, they've really fallen apart and really haven't bounced back. This is their chance to bounce back right now. And really, Florida State, they had a good start to their season, but, it's time for them to bounce back up. But, Miami also had high hopes for the year, but really didn't look that impressive. 6:30 ABC on the second game. All right, we got a ranked game in the Big 12, and it's not even that going to be. The media really hasn't been talking about it. I haven't really been hyping this game up. To me, it's lower in the Big 12, but really, now that I think about it, Texas Grizzly isn't ranked the AP poll, but they are ranked in the CFP. Alright, so really this is ranked versus ranked game, and I really wasn't expecting it to be, so that's why I didn't have it as a big, huge game this week, because I really wasn't expecting Texas to be ranked. So that CFP surprised me. But 6:30 FS1, the Big 12 game. Kansas State at home, they're playing against a really good roller coaster Texas team. You never know how they're going to play. And I got to say, Kansas State, they want to have a shot at the Big 12, they got to win that game. Also, Texas wins that game, it opened the door for OSU once again. Kansas State, if they want, they're in the Big 12 championship. If they, as of now, they win that game, it continues. They lose it, once again, it opens the door for OSU. But OSU got to win on the road against Kansas. Also, Baylor, Oklahoma, both at the top of the preseason rankings in the Big 12, falling apart. Now on the streaming service, ESPN Plus at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Big games. These two games are going to be important to watch. Because knowing the Big 12, if it's up to happen, I doubt one of them will be in the Big 12 championship. Anyway, I'll move on. Talk about it later. Anyway, Iowa, Purdue, 11 a.m. on FS1. Another big game. Pay close to those. Maryland, Wisconsin, 11 o'clock. Big Ten Network. Lower end of the Big Ten, but they're fighting to make a bowl game. These four teams are really fighting. Purdue, Wisconsin, Iowa. I think even Maryland had high hopes for this year, but right now, they're just fighting to at least get a bowl game right now, because they're totally out of the Big Ten race. All right, Pac-12. We got Washington State, Stanford, 2:30 on the Pac-12 network. This is going to be a decent game to watch. I really think, because, they're both out of the Pac-12 racing this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Because both of them are kind of, again, on a roller coaster ride or Stanford really hasn't. They just need their end game, they just need to figure out how to finish them. UCLA playing against a really good Arizona team, kind of like Stanford, where they cannot find ways to finish games. All right, to the NFL we go. Alright, so really isn't NFL news, but it is pro football. The XFL has revealed their 2023 teams and logos, and the reason why I said 2023 is you never know if it will fold again. Anyway, go ahead and check out the XFL website, and see some of them I don't like, some of them I agree with, but I mean most of them I hate. I mean some of them they stole logos from other places. So not a great start for the XFL. I really don't have high hopes for the XFL right now. But anyway, the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, tomorrow at noon on CBS. This is a really big game, and I did hear that the Jets wide receiver is going to be without their starting wide receiver in that game. And the Bills got a powerful defense, so the Jets are going to have a hard time scoring, I'm predicting. And I got the Bills winning that game. Also, Lakers, Rams and the Buccaneers. It's going to be a big game. The Rams, I don't know where they stand after winning the Super Bowl last year. They really have completely fallen apart, and I actually think that they are going to lose this game. Tom Brady, I think, will finally get a win that he deserves, or I guess not deserves, that he's been looking for. But the Titans, we're looking really good this year. They're playing at 7:20 on NBC against a really good Kansas City this year. They're on the road, so it's going to be really tough to see if they can pull it out. I think Kansas City is going to win that game. Got some NBA headlines for you. James Harden's injured his foot. They expect to be out for a month, and this is how much I follow the NBA. I had no idea he played for the 76ers. I think I knew that, I just forgot. Because now that I'm realizing it, I was like, okay, yeah, I did know that he got traded to the 76ers. I just completely forgot. Anyway, yeah, the Trailblazers playing against the Suns. Tonight, 9 o'clock, NBA TV. Gonna be a really fun game to watch. Kind of, I don't know. I'm mainly gonna be watching college football. So for those who aren't college football fans or tired of college football, here are some key games to watch. I'll give you a couple of seconds to review it. And I really don't have much to say about the NBA right now until I follow it closely. But I'll do a quick pick. Atlanta Hawks win, Celtics win. I probably likely get them wrong. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. I got some college basketball, some headlines for you. College basketball starts Monday, and be sure to check out Hardwood Hoops. I got a big show planned for you, and it's on, and I'm going to talk about it here in a minute, but it's Marathon Monday, so, it starts, that just starts it off, and, college basketball starts Monday. It's just getting ready to tip off, and there are some good games coming up, and also I got some big headlines for you. Gonzaga is thinking about joining the Big 12. West Virginia head coach doesn't agree with it. He says it's a dumb idea considering they don't know how to play physical. Gonzaga is number 2 in the country, and they are known for being physical, powerful in March Madness. So, West Virginia, where's your head out? Think straight. I think Gonzaga is a perfect fit for the Big 12. Also, Kansas is going to be without their head coach for the first 4 games of the season. He's suspended for recruiting. Illegal recruiting is what I'm told. Infraction cases, I guess that's another way they word it. Anyway, he's going to be out for a big Kansas and Duke game at I think it's their second or third game of the season. Anyway, that's big news for Kansas. I think really not, because non-conference play. This is the Cinderella Race 2022. Last year, we had a great team. That team with Cincinnati fell apart this year. They're nobody. Whoop, they're gone. Send them out of the way. This year, it's a different story. We got 3 candidates that look very great. UCLA, 7-1, third in the Pac-12, only lost at Oregon. They beat Washington and Utah, which were ranked at the time. Next candidate, TCU. They're 8-0, first in the Big 12. 4 AP wins. One of them, number 8, Oklahoma State. And then we got Tennessee, 8-0, second in the SEC East. Heisman candidate quarterback Henderson Hooker also beat 4 AP teams, including Alabama. It's championship November. You never know what's going to happen. Is it going to be one of these 3 teams that have a Cinderella race or someone else? You decide. Alright, who do you think is going to be the Cinderella team this year? I'm really betting on Tennessee. Anyway, let's check out what's going around in the network. Sleepy Report Podcast every Monday at 6 o'clock. Down and Distance college football show every Monday at 6 o'clock. Also, Hardwood Hoops, a college basketball and NBA show. Getting you ready every Friday, 6 o'clock for the big weekend in hoops. Also, first Monday of every month, 6:30, putting coaches on the spot with a show called Hot Seat. Also, this show, flagship show, every Saturday at 10 a.m., getting you ready for a big day in college football and all the sports. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. A lot going on here on Busy Sports. Speaking of a lot going on, guess what's going on Monday? Yeah, 4 of those shows you just saw is on Monday, live. Well, most of them are live on YouTube. Sleepy Report Podcast will be live. Hardwood Hoops kicking off on 5:30, followed by Down and Distance. Like always, Sleepy Report Podcast at 6:30 and Hot Seat at 7. Alright, let's jump to the joke of the week. I am 9-0 right now. Woo! I am still undefeated. And guess what I'm going with this week? I'm going with Oregon against a Colorado that's coming off a fired head coach, which for some reason, since the firing, Colorado's finding ways to win. But I feel confident Oregon, they're 8 right now, is going to find a way to win this game, like they always do. As they look strong and powerful right now. I think I am ready to go 10-0. Finally, I can win something. Alright, you know when you hear this song and see this graphic, you know it's time for the SEC! Let's get started with the SEC 11 a.m. kickoff, 60 degrees and cloudy. Florida A&M, this is going to be a huge back and forth game, but I think A&M is their 4-game losing streak at home. Alright, also 3 o'clock SEC Network, Liberty, Arkansas, also 60 degrees and cloudy. Yep, same temperatures all around. Alright, this is really a tough game for me because Arkansas had high hopes for the year. Really fallen apart since the SEC started. Liberty 7-0 right now, but Arkansas is at home, and I feel confident that they will win this game. This is going to be a big game to watch for the Big 12 because Texas is surprisingly, to me, ranked at 24. Kansas State 13, knocking off Oklahoma State 29-0 last week. This is 6:30 on FS1. This is going to be a huge game for the Big 12 because it's important because Kansas State wins to line themselves up with having a rematch against TCU. But if they lose this game, it opens the door not just for Texas, but possibly for Baylor too, and Oklahoma State still will have a chance in that. But I gotta go Kansas State at home in this game. Next game on the lineup. Yep, SEC playoffs. Here we go. 6 o'clock, ESPN. Number 6, Alabama. Number 10, LSU. Yep, this is going to be a really close back and forth game, and I cannot wait to see this one. I honestly think that LSU will have a chance. Brian Kelly will have them ready for the first couple quarters. I got Alabama winning this game. Huge! I think we'll see, this might be Alabama's biggest win of the season because this is their greatest rivalry. And no doubt that they're going to win this game. Alright, and this is going to be a big, well, I guess kind of an ACC battle if Notre Dame would ever join a conference. Number 4, Clemson. Notre Dame unranked. 6:30 NBC. I think that this is going to be a challenging game for Clemson. This might be their most challenging game of the year, or probably unexpected against an unranked team. Once again, Clemson, I think they got the toughest schedule right now because they just knocked out, they knocked out 3 straight ranked teams. Another unranked team, but potentially pull up an upset. But I still think Clemson will find a way to win this game on the road. Alright, 7 o'clock ACC Network. This one is both the two teams lost to Clemson. Probably should have won it, but they have a chance to redeem themselves or say, we still have a shot at the ACC, possibly. Wake Forest, NC State, going to be huge. Back and forth. I think this game can possibly go to overtime. I'm calling it right now. This game's going to 3 overtimes. Quote me on this, 3 overtimes. And Wake Forest gets the win on the road. Alright, number 1, Tennessee. Number 3, Georgia. The game of the week. It's going to be bright and sunny, 76 degrees. 2:30 on CBS. This is a really tough decision for me, but you want to know how much I would pick Tennessee? So much. I would pick Tennessee so bad, but I gotta go with Georgia. They're home. They've been the number 1 team all year long. All right, thanks for watching American Game Day. I'll see you next Saturday at 10 a.m.